and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm going to kit up my next Heaven and Earth Designs project. Now this is going to run alongside my other one. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do a bit of at each time, but I did want one that had a lot of black. So I did get a diamond painting called Mini Beautiful Light from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I've created my stickers exactly the same way I created the last lot, which I do have a video on. Everything is in my Heaven and Earth Designs playlist, but I'm going to get kitted up for this one. It only has 15 colours, so I don't expect it to take too long, and I'm going to use this new little storage case which just has the little pots just like my other one does, and this one is from Fan Cells, so I will bob a link for it below, but it's perfect for this one because that's the amount of colours that this one has. So I'm going to get all my little labels punched out, so I'm just trying to line them up. This punch I'm using is a 1/2 inch circle punch, and I actually got this one from Stamping Up, though there are many places that do a 1/2 inch circle punch. And I'm cutting out these labels which I have printed onto sticker paper. Now all the colours look very similar, and that's because shading wise they all are. It is a black and white image, so we've got lots of black and white, bit of green, bit of grey, and actually I should be putting these on in order, shouldn't I, because otherwise I'm going to get confused. Then again, they can all move, so they are just the little tall pots. Let's see if I can. The only thing with sticker paper is then getting hold of the stickers, because of course you can't, well, you probably could get some stickers that will all line up with the printer and all the rest of it, but my printer's not that well behaved. So they are quite small. You could possibly get away with bigger, but I went for a size that I had the punch for. Oh, 310's actually next. So I already had a 1/2 inch punch, and that worked out to be the best one, so I made the size of the circle that I created the label stickers the size for my punch. But of course if you have a bigger punch, maybe a 3/4, you could possibly get away with an inch. Actually, could you get away with an inch? I'm trying to find a ruler that's handy, and of course everything is on top of said ruler. It's a bit bigger than an inch, so you'd need a 3/4 of an inch circle punch rather than an inch. An inch wouldn't do it. It would hang over the edge. But see, how exciting. Did you think, oh, we've got a kitting up video, and all you see is me trying to fight with getting the backing off my sticker paper? So the reason I'm using a knife rather than using my nail is because I can find when you use your nail, some of the sticker can sometimes fold up on itself, and it just doesn't quite sit as nicely on the pot as it does if I use a knife. So I'm going to do this half, and then I'll do the other half. Just stops me having to look at too many numbers to be able to kit it up. I don't think I'm going to keep a spare box of spares for this one though. So my other Heaven and Earth design has 239 colours, and it is the full size rather than being a mini version. So it's a lot more epic, should we say, and because of that, and because I am using my spares, I keep a photo box that just has ones that don't fit in the pots, sort of the overflow. But for this one, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm saying that at the moment, I don't think I'm going to do that, because I think it's just potentially going to cause too much confusion. And if it does, it's just not worth the hassle. So I'm going to fill this up from my spares box, and potentially from the Heaven and Earth Designs spare box as well, because some of these may cross over into the two. And of course, if that happens, then it's going to be fun as to which to put my spares in, because I'll be working on both of them. So I may put a little mark on these stickers in this one that are in my Heaven and Earth Designs, and at least then I know if for any reason I run out of a colour, which box to go to look for some more. But this one does have a lot of black. It also has some of the other colours that I do have as spares that aren't in my Heaven and Earth Designs. So the B5200 I know for definite is not in my Heaven and Earth Designs, and I think there's a few others that I have quite a few spares of that aren't in that design. So I think it should work out quite well for using up my spares, or at least that's my hope. It's just another project. We like another project. 3072, I'm not sure if that's in there either, but we'll have a look when it gets to filling these little pots up in a moment. I don't have a printed sheet of this design. I am just going to work purely from the app, the Pattern Keeper app, which is available on Android. So I haven't bothered to print out the patterns at all like I did with my other one. I printed it out. With this one, it's a lot less colours, it's a lot easier to manage. So I haven't even printed out, you know, the symbol guide, the colour guide or anything. I'm just gonna, or the amounts that you need, I'm just gonna go straight from these pots and just fill them up that way. Because these are all very, very popular colours that you see across many diamond paintings, and you'll see that when we fill them up. Okay, last one, which is, well, should be B5200, but I didn't transfer the B across just so it'd fit in my label nice. Okay, so that's all my pots labelled. So just to show you, get my scissors away, just so you can see it a little bit better. There's all my little pots. Say all the symbols, while they are the colour, they all do look very, very similar. So clear up my rubbish and we'll get out my first box. So this is just my normal spares at the moment. Only if I can't find it will I go hunting for my Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm going to put those spare stickers somewhere else. So B5200 I know we have in here. I have it in round, but then I also have a couple of different lots of squares as well. So I'm going to fill up the squares, because of course that's the way I'm doing a Heaven and Earth Designs in squares, otherwise you get to see the background. And I don't want to see white around the back of the likes of a 310, so that's why I'm doing it in squares, not rounds. Okay, so then we want 169. 169 is only in here in round, which means it is probably in my Heaven and Earth Designs. So what I'm going to do first is go to my Heaven and Earth Designs spares box and see if it's in here. 169, there it is. So it's a lot easier to, you know, fill them up from the spares than trying to have to share out what I've got in my other design. Now if I remember rightly, my big one doesn't need too many of this colour, but I am going to have a look in a moment when I can get these to preferably go in without making a mess. I could use the funnel, but that would be too easy. It's because the piece of paper's not on the back of it. There we go. So let me have a, oh no, I was going to have a quick look. Oh, actually I might know where they are. Because all the numbers for my Heaven and Earth designs used to be pinned up on a pegboard, but it's not at the moment. So, oh, here we go. 169. I only need 513 in my big design, so there's going to be plenty to go between the two of them, so I don't need to worry about that one. My 3 10s. Now this entertains some people. Sorry, I'm rooting in my craft room. To find my bag of 3 10s. So these are my spare 3 10s. They're currently stored in a 7.5-inch square bag. I will get better storage at some point, but for now this is what works. And I'm also trying to think what I should label up the pots. Ooh, that is going to be more than enough. See, and it hasn't even dinted it. I've used the funnel on this one because otherwise I will make a complete mess. Those two are both in both designs. So what can I mark it with? Maybe I'll just do a little purple dot. So we've just got a purple dot there and a purple dot there. Means that it's in both of my Heaven and Earth designs, which means I know where to look for spares. So to get my 3 10s away, say I've got stuff everywhere and my battery's beeping on my camera. Absolutely awesome. Okay, 317 is the same. So is 317 one that I have in both? It is. So we've got more than I thought. So we'll put a little dot on that one as well. And let's see how far we get before my camera really shouts at me. Maybe I should use the funnel for them all. Oh, we're getting there. So at the moment I'm just filling up from spares. It's actually not taking away from my Heaven and Earth designs pots that I've already got. And I think this one is a colour that's used lightly as well. So you've got organised, Rebecca, today, as you can tell. I've got my batteries charged, I've got everything to hand. Anyway, so 317 for my other one needs 898 of them. Seeing as these hold over 1,000, and if it's gone into my spares, it means my normal Heaven and Earth designs is already full. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem with them at all. 318, I have gazillions of, and it's not in a Heaven and Earth designs, so that's good. I'm going to behave myself and use the funnel. So if I fill the funnel up just a bit so it sits in the top, and then when I lift it out it fills up the pot. But I'm going to keep the spares in here, so depending on whether it's got a dot or not means I know where to look for my spares. 413 as well, that is another one that I just have in normal and have loads, because these are all the greys and such. Might have put too many in there, let's see. Oh, we fit. It's a bit of a squeeze, but we fit. So you see we've got all greys and blacks. Okay, 414 is also in my Heaven and Earth designs, my big one, and for the big one I only need 679, and I already have overfill, so I don't think my other pattern is going to need these diamonds at all, because a full pot, as I say, already holds over 1,000, so there's plenty for both. So we can fill up that one. I'm sure this one will go through them a lot quicker. Okay, 415 is not in my Heaven and Earth design, so it should be in here. 415 in square, another grey. And again, I have loads. Oh, stay upright. A couple of different shades of them in here as well. We'll see how that turns out on this other type of design, but I'm sure it'll look okay. I'm definitely not splitting them up anyway. Okay, so that's 415 and then 535. Where am I going? Twos. There it is. 535. So I've not got as many in those, but we have got a dark grey. Stuff's falling down behind me. I think it's just rubbish as well. But I'll sort that out later. So I've got 535. Oh, I think I'm going to get them all in here. Got a bit of static going on. That's going to be fun. I think what I'm also going to do as well, whenever I de-kit, I don't think I'm going to pull this little one out to fill up. I think I'm just going to leave it until these run out, and I'll just go to the spares to find them. So I'm just trying to fight the last few static beads out of the bottom of here. It's the only thing with using the funnel, is when you get static, they like to stick in it. So let's see if I can get those to go in. It's not too bad, it's not that bad a static that I won't be able to work with them, but it's just a little bit annoying. Especially when they don't want to go into another plastic pot. Which can't blame them really. Okay. So I'll keep the bag in there and then I know to fill it up. Okay, and then we've got 647, and that's another one that I've got here. Lots of different shades in this one. But I haven't got this one in my big Heaven and Earth design, so I'm definitely using up more spares here than I have done before, which is always good. So that's 647 and 648 as well. Ooh, that's very two different colours. We'll make it work. When I'm working on the design itself, if I'm working in a particular section that's got a lot of them together, I'll make sure that I pick out diamonds that are the same colour. But when they're further apart, I'll split up which of the two colour shadings that I use, because there's two sort of different shades in there. Not sure if you can see it. So there's two different shades in there. So if I've got to work on a big section that's a block of this colour, then I'll stick to one of those colours while I'm doing it. But when there's a gap between it and loads of other diamonds, I won't as much. Okay, so let's get that back in the right place. 648. Okay, so that's that box done. And then I want my 700s. I only need one out of here, which is 762. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's another one that is not in my Heaven and Earth design. So we're getting, and this has got multiples of shading as well. So I'll do exactly the same thing when it comes to placing them on the canvas. If they're really close together, I'll make sure that the shadings I choose are similar, so that you can't see the differences. Is that going to fit? I've filled that up pretty much. Okay, so that is those done, and then we need the 3000s. I've got stuff on top of my tubs everywhere in here at the moment. So 3072, is that in my Heaven and Earth Designs or not? I don't have any, so I'm guessing it is. 3072 it is. Now in my big Heaven and Earth Designs, I only need 138. So let's see if I have any spares here. I do. So I have some spares here, which can all go into this one. And then I will be able to pinch some out of my bigger designs if I need them, because I only need 100 for that project. So I can always pinch them from there when I run out. But let's put a dot on that one. So there is a few that cross over. 3799, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that one crosses over as well. 3865. Oh, my sheets have got muddled up. Or have I left it? Hang on. It's here. 3865 is in Heaven and Earth Designs as well. But I only need 391 for my big one. So none of the ones that are in here are going to take away from the fact of my big one, of my big Heaven and Earth Designs, which is good. So 3799, do I have any spares in here? I should do, it's a popular colour. Or maybe I don't. Oh yes I do. There we go. So we've got a dark grey. I thought I might have some left over because this colour appears in a lot of paintings. It's definitely one that I recognise. And I think I'm going to empty the whole bag. I am. Get the ones that are stuck to the paper. There we go. So I've got plenty in there. And then last but not least, 3865, which, as I say, my Heaven and Earth Designs, my big one, needs 391, and I have 3 spare bags worth in this Heaven and Earth Design spares. So I have plenty to go around. So we'll fill that up. We've got a couple of different shades in that one as well, but I'm not bothered. Okay, so that is the kitting up done. What I'm going to do now, if I can get these boxes out of my way, is I'm going to have a look at the canvas and get that sort of set up and ready so that I can work on it. So where did my tablet go? Here we go. So have I got charge? This is where all the fun begins. Just wipe the dust off my screen because I haven't pulled this out since the builders were about. So while I cleaned up my craft room, there's still the odd bit that needs a proper wipe down. Just going to see if I've got enough charge in it to actually, because I'm sure I put my other pattern on here. Oh no, that's shouting at me that it needs charge. Your battery is empty. How bad am I? This is turning into the most disorganised video I think I have ever done. Okay, it's getting charged. Let me get my blank canvas. So, here is my blank canvas, which I did already roll on to a piece of pipe flagging. But what I want to do is I think I want to start working from the bottom on this one for a little bit of a change. But I know I don't need it as wide as it is. So I'm actually wondering whether to chop it as well so that it's easier to manage. This is all part of my prepping that of course I've not thought about before I'm actually doing. So this is the benefit of the paper chart, is that you can sort of do your counting across and check what you need and what you've got. Because normally I also trim the canvas down into strips so that I can peel off strips as I go along. But let's pull the chart up on my phone. It's PDF, it's in my files. Oh, see, look, I've already opened it on my phone in the past. So just to show you all, that is a mini beautiful light. That's the image that I'm doing. So stitches wise, it is, okay, no, that's finished design size. What's the stitches? Here we go. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, it is 183 stitches. Okay, yeah, that could be right. That's a lot less than what I thought it was. I thought it was bigger than that. Just going to have a quick look at the chart itself, if I can get it to move. So 80, come on. It's taking a little bit to load up on my phone. Then it goes to 150. Oh, it is. It's 183 across. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh no, maybe I am all right. I know it was bigger than what I needed, but maybe it's not as much as I thought. 110, 120, 130. Ooh, 140, 150, I think. This is where the lines get a bit funny. 160, 170, 180, and then 3. So it is only going to come to about here lengthwise. So I'm unsure whether to keep all this on or whether to chop it now. But I think it could get a bit tricky to work on if I chop it now. So what I think I'll do is I think I will still cut my strips across so that I've got my 2-inch strips so I can work on my 2x6 block, which is the size I like to work on this. It sort of fits into the screen size of my tablet nice. So I like to work in that size block. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut the contact paper across that sort of 2 mark and peel it back, and then when I get to the end I'll just leave the rest of the contact paper on and work in those sections and work my way up, because I know I have a lot of space at the top as well. Size wise, it just actually worked out cheaper to buy a bigger standard size canvas at 70 by 100 than it did to buy a custom, because of the prices they gave me. So if that's a 2-inch block, a 220 section block, sorry, and so's that, and so's that. And I have to go over because the paper, when it comes down, goes over. So let me get this canvas, this paper, to lie as flat as it can. And then I've got my guidelines that go a bit over, and let's get my bigger ruler. So that is the 20 mark, but I want to go just above it. So actually I'm probably best coming in from the other way. I want to go just above it to cut my strip, because I don't want the strip that's remaining on the canvas to get in the way of my diamonds. So if I cut that all the way across like that, then that will allow me, when I get that first little nick, to pull that across and work in a 6 section. I call 6 blocks of 10, and then work across and then do the same again. And then when I get to this section, I will then, when the diamonds stop, I will rip the paper there. So to put this one down again, actually I need to mark. See, I get all kerfuddled now because I wasn't organised. That'll teach me. So I'm going to mark the 2 section there, but then on here I can just go up to where I'd scored before and do it as like a second block. And I missed a bit somewhere down here. Didn't quite cut. I think that was it. So when I get to the likes of the 83 section there, which is where I've counted at the moment, this also gives me room for my counting to be wrong. I will actually just stop there and leave that contact paper on it, and then that can become some other sort of project. So I need to do the same for the next section, or at least section or 2, and then after that I will do it as I go along. And the lines on this canvas aren't quite as strong a difference as there was on my other one. Ooh. Try not to rip the paper because that could just be fun. They're not quite as thick as, of course, my other Heaven and Earth designs, because I draw those on myself. So I may end up drawing the lines on as well, just so that I can see where I'm going. Okay, so that's that section. Get this to go back flat. And then I can line it up for the next section, just past the line that I've made on the other side, just so that I've got that little bit of breathing space for diamonds. Doesn't help that I'm also going off my base on here. Completely disorganized today. There we go. Okay, so that's 2 sections done. Let's do one more, and then I think I've probably caused enough damage to myself for today. So I'm going to lift this sheet back up again, just so I can see where the next line is, which isn't too far. Ooh. I've not actually peeled back the whole of this canvas. Even when I unboxed it, I only peeled back a section just to see what it was like. So it's getting up to that sort of distance now. Oh, my line just went completely off Kinko. So I've actually got 2 strips here, but it'll be going that bit anyway, won't it? the next bit I need to mark, so 10, 20. And this is officially the top of the canvas, but for me it's not, it's the bottom. Because I am not messing about with rolling it all back up the other way. Just so that I can work the right way up. Because I cut all that bit off anyway. There we go. So that is the next section ready. So I've got 3 different sections there now on my canvas, which I think is plenty to start off with, because as I say, I will start down here and I will fold up to the 60 mark there. And there is some air bubbles in this. Now they weren't here when it was delivered, so I know they're probably caused by my manhandling of the canvas. Also, there is excess glue because the contact paper does go over the canvas. So I just need to carefully score the glue so that it doesn't go through the canvas as well. And because it's double-sided tape, you can just peel the whole lot up. So it's actually taken my black line with it as well. And there we go. So it's got a piece of sticky tape, and that takes all the stickiness off that side, which means when I'm working on it, it's a lot nicer. So, bad video performance from me today, but it's now done. So that is the kitting up of my Heaven and Earth designs for a mini beautiful light. Let me see if I do have the canvas on here. You have to bear with me because I have no idea how to use this app, this tablet, apart from this app. I don't use it for anything else. Okay, I haven't imported the canvas yet. So, did I put it onto Google Drive? I did. So, there's my... Sorry. So, this is just to show you when you're pulling in a chart on this app. So let's go back. How do I go back? Okay, so if I go into Pattern Keeper itself, I've then chosen the plus option at the bottom, and I've chosen to import from Google Drive, just because it's the Google tablet that's signed to this. I find it's the easiest. And in my drive, I've got the mini beautiful light chart. So I click on that, and then it tells me that there is the design from Heaven and Earth Designs, and they usually overlap their pages with 3 rows. So basically from page to page, if we can, let's have a look on here. So can you see here on the chart, that is like a, oh, focus. That is like shaded. That is an overlap from the page before, so that you can confirm that you're following the right pattern. So they do have an overlap, but on this app it allows you to remove that overlap when you import, so you just go straight across the design. So yes, I want to do that. So it's now processing it into the app so that the app can work with it. And then it's ready. So I've got to verify, check that the mock put for it, so what it looks like finished, and the key down the side is correct. So we can have a look and check, brief glance, that all the symbols match up, all the numbers match up to what is, so the chart is matching to the colours, and that's right. So we click next, and then I've got my chart. So that is the chart fully zoomed out, so you don't get to see the image because I've not done anything yet. And I want to zoom in, and I want to zoom in to the bottom. Now this is where, depending on your tablet, depends on how easy this is to do. and this one is very low battery and is currently charging, so every now and then it keeps having a little wobble. Okay, so this is the bottom of my chart, and this is what is also worth considering. So can you see these 10 blocks here? That's what I normally work in, is the blocks of 10. And of course this is already gridded up into 10 blocks, which is great. But because I'm working from the bottom, the chart only finishes 5 from the bottom. So, you know, it's 325 down. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually, when I start here, I'm going to start 5 up, and I'm going to leave a gap of 5 at the bottom. You can't even see that. I'm knocking everything everywhere. So when I start, because I like to have sort of that sort of size normally, a bit bigger than that, a bit smaller than that. There we go. I tend to like to work on that sort of size. It normally fits 3x2 block into the window, but of course if I scroll up to the bottom I've got 15 and then I've got 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to miss off the 5 at the bottom that don't have any, and I'm going to start my design from here, and then when I finish I'll just peel off the tape at the bottom. But that's only because I'm starting at the bottom. If I was starting from the top, which I could do by turning the whole canvas sheet around, if I was starting from right at the top, if I can get up there quick enough, then it starts on a block of 10 anyway. So let's see if I can lift it up, because it's not got much charge. So it starts on a full block of 10. So sometimes it is easier to do that, and I've just managed to hit a symbol, so it's searched for it. And the battery's showing at me. Shh, I plugged you in. So that's my 2 options. I either start from the bottom and start 5 up so that my grids of 10 all match, or I turn the whole canvas around. So I turn this around and make this my top. I do it from this side and go across, and I'm not sure which to do because it is very long and I know I'm going to have excess, so part of me prefers to have the excess canvas out of my way. But having said that, when I get further down, because it's 400 long, so it's quite a bit longer, I am going to be dealing with canvas that's got diamonds on it on my knee rather than out of the way. So maybe I will do it this way and start from the top, and I'll actually start from this corner, and then this corner will be the spare canvas. I might have to do that. Anyway, it's prepped. I will get round to doing some, and I'll be sure to make sure that I do some videos on this one as well as on others. But thank you so much for joining me for this extremely hodgepodge video, and I will speak to you all again soon.